Hi golfers, Nick here from Nick Taylor Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on golf tips, I'm going to talk to you about a hashtag I've been using on Instagram recently. I had a comment from Nathan on Instagram and he said, what does built to tilt mean? And that's a very good question. It's very difficult to answer that on social media, so I do get questions on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's very difficult sometimes just to write back and put my point across. So I'm going to try and answer Nathan's question in this video. So what does built to tilt mean? And I said that all the best golfers that play the game, they have some degree of tilt in their golf swing. So I'm going to try and explain that today in this video. So it's very difficult just with a camera to get this point across. If you had a 3D analysis, that would probably help a little bit more. And this is, we'll go into some sort of detail here, so it's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. So a lot of people, they get put off by a stack and tilt. They're not sure what it means, or they have a misconception about it. So basically, sort of the stack is the weight. So as I set up, I'm sort of stacking my weight slightly on the left. You can see I've got a slight bump forward with the hip, and my head's sort of centered as well. So to keep a centered swing, I have to tilt in the golf swing. And a lot of people get confused by that. A lot of people think stack and tilt is doing that, and it's not. You may have to get that sensation to remain centered, because a lot of people do move off the golf ball, so they may need to feel that movement to keep centered. But ideally, we want to try and keep a centered turn, so the head staying in position, and that's from both angles. So that was from face on, and also from down the line as well. So you can still see how my head stays very centered. So for my head to stay centered, I have to tilt in the golf swing, and that's the point of this video, to try and put across how do you see that tilt. So it's very difficult to explain this just with the camera, so I'm going to be moving around here, so because the golf swing is in 3D. So we're going to look at my setup here from face on. So from a 90-degree angle to my shoulder turn, if we look at my spine angle, when we're going to look at this from the nut, sort of my belt buckle to my sternum, it's pretty much zero, maybe slightly tilted away a couple of degrees. So somewhere between 0 and 5 degrees side tilt from belt to sternum. Very slight side tilt. There'll be a little bit more with the driver, but with the irons, there's this very side tilt, 0 to 5 degrees. Now, if I was to swing, and we're going to look at this from 90 degrees to the shoulder turn, if I was to swing the backswing and do my normal golf swing and stay centered, to stay centered, I'm going to have to change my spine tilt here. Now, to get to the top here, my side tilt's changed. So it's no longer pretty much vertical, it's actually tilted that way. That's where the tilt comes in. So that's the left tilt in the golf swing. And if I didn't do that, if I didn't left tilt, I would move up to the right, my head would come out of position, my shoulders would be turning more level to the ground. And if you look at a lot of the best players, you'll see how their shoulders, they turn on an angle, and the hips turn on an angle. So you want your shoulders turning at a right angle to the mount you're tilted over. So your spine angle from down the line, you want our shoulders turning on a right angle to that. If I turn my shoulders level to the ground, it would look like that. I don't know any good golfers that do that in the golf swing. So I've talked about the left tilt, so I'm left tilting, but how does my head stay centered? And that's because there's another movement going on. There's an extension of the spine as well. So if I look at the best players, you'll see this in all of the longest hitters and the best players that play the game. They extend their spine. So as I set up, see how my spine's pointing down to the ground? As I make a backswing, my spine actually points up here towards the camera. So my spine's not staying flexed over, or I'm not staying in the same spine angle here. I'm actually extending my spine. Now, look at it from face on. So that's the extension of the spine. So there's 3 movements actually happening to remain centered in the golf swing. There's a left tilt, which we talked about a second ago. There's extension of the spine, and also the turning. And I think a lot of instruction over the years has just talked about the turning of the shoulders, and hasn't really talked about the extension and the side tilting, which we know now from these 3D analysis that actually does happen in the golf swing. There's 3 movements that are happening: extension, tilting and turning. The best players do it. If you look at them from down the line, you'll see all of them looking like this. I'm going to put some pictures up here so you can see. So just so you remember guys, there's an extension, there's some tilting, and there's turning of the spine throughout the course of the golf swing. So that's why I use that hashtag built to tilt, because everyone that plays the game to a high standard, they tilt in the golf swing. So hopefully Nathan, that's cleared that up. I tried to do my best job there as possible, but if you've still got any more questions, post them in the box below or message me on my social media platforms. If you don't already, please subscribe to the channel, absolutely free to do that. And if you don't already, please follow me on my other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.